Okay guys, so how we're going to start this video is by showing you that Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise is available now. This became available as I was just starting my recording. And of course this isn't posting till tomorrow, so it will have been available for a day now by the time this video posts. But the pre-order is there. You can go pre-purchase it so that it's all ready for you on November 5th. And also, just a side note, these are Canadian prices you're seeing. So the price will be cheaper. I do believe it's like $25 for US. So for today's video, I'm gonna tell you guys 5 easy tips to get prepped for the new patch and the DLC that's coming out on the 5th. So the first one we're gonna go over is currency. This is gonna cover a few different types of currency, but for starters, bells. Just collect as many bells as you can along the way through the next week. You don't have to have nearly as much as you see on screen, but enough to purchase some new items. Of course, you'll earn bells as you're playing the patch too, so nothing major here. The next one is Nook Mile tickets. I personally like to keep the Nook Mile tickets on hand for the Mystery Islands because I hate going to the machine and like redeeming one by one by one, which is why I have a lot of Nook Mile rewards. But I would suggest holding on to a fair amount of Nook Mile tickets just because there's going to be some new villagers. You might want to go to some islands for that, and there'll be other things like furniture and all that that maybe you want to buy off someone else and you're going to pay Nook Mile tickets. A very common known fact in Animal Crossing is that Nook Mile tickets is the real currency. You know, bells, usually you don't need a whole lot of bells, but you'll always need a lot of Nook Mile tickets. Just in that off chance that there's something you really want that's tough to find and someone's selling it, chances are they'll want that. And just for those that are maybe still paying off Tom Nook and are confused by this statement, yes, bells are very much needed in the beginning, but once Tom Nook is paid off and you no longer have loans, you pretty much never use bells for anything. There might be the oddball clothing piece that, you know, you spend 1,000 on or something, but it never really equals very high. It's always Nook Mile tickets that seems to be what you're gonna use. And that's just because you get to the point where it's a trading game and you're trading other people for items. And then the third currency is, of course, the Nook Mile reward system. If you have over 100,000 Nook Mile rewards, I would say you're good. If you're under 50,000, I personally would work towards 50,000 because there's a lot of new items in the Nook Reward Center for redeems. And then there's also the new variety of Mystery Islands, and that's going to cost 1,000 Nook Mile tickets each. So depending on how much you want to farm some of the rarer islands, you're definitely going to be using that, and it can only be purchased through your rewards. The next tip I have for you is the garden. I chose to build a garden. As you can see, it's just pumpkins in here, but I set it up so that I'm ready when the patch comes out and we can actually have a garden of carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, wheat, and sugarcane. So that might be something you want to do. A lot of people right now are renovating their islands to prep for the patch, so this might be just one little section you might want to build out on your island while you're doing that. My third tip for you guys is the museum. So when I say complete your museum, I don't mean have every statue and every painting or any of that. All I mean is that you get into the storyline of where you would build the museum and you unlock each area And then maybe donate at least 10 items. I don't think you're gonna have to have like full donations on the museum, but I think you will definitely need to at least have it built and all the sections covered in it, and at least some donations to be able to open up Brewster. Brewster will be up the stairs just to the left of that bench on the left side. We have no true info on what really is involved, so this is just hearsay. But at the very least, we know he's in the museum, so we know you have to at least build the museum. So you could go with just that and see what is next, but he is a section of the museum, so I imagine that he would be the final section. However, there is 2 benches there, so maybe in a future patch, someone else will be in the museum. But for now, we know he's on the left side, and you need the museum, obviously. The 4th tip is another building type tip, and that is Harv's Island. I would highly suggest getting Harv's Island built before the patch, just because that is a huge part of the update. When you first build Harv's Island, you're kind of locked in. You can see that we're fenced in here. And in this little clip here, you can see that in the update, that's all gonna kind of open up, and there's gonna be shops that are there and a lot of stuff you can do at Harv's Island. It won't be so minimal anymore. So you're definitely gonna want to have his part of the story, I guess we'll say, all complete so that you have the ability to just walk through and start up everything. And the final tip I would suggest prior to the patch is looking over your residents and seeing if you're happy with everyone you have. For me, I am, which is unfortunate because I thought Ione was kind of cute. He's like a blue squirrel, but there are quite a few new residents. I will link a video I did that covers like all the patch, but you can timestamp to the last portion of the video where I talk about the residents, and you can see all the new residents in that video, and I'll have that linked at the end of this one. But there is going to be a bunch of new residents that you can get, and maybe there's a new cutie you want to trade out one of your current residents for. On that note though, I would try my best to not get the one you want to move out before the patch. It's always nice to kind of prepare for that so that, you know, you do your best to try to make that initiate after the patch has gone live. So try to avoid any move outs for the next week. And that is pretty much all I got for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope these tips help you out in preparing yourself for the new patch. It is a overloaded patch. I think we got really lucky with this one, and there is a lot of stuff going on in it. And like I said, for more details on that, I do have a video linked at the end of this one that goes over everything involving the new patch. And yeah, so have fun next week in the new patch. Have fun next week in the DLC. Thanks everyone for watching. An extra big thanks to the members of the channel. And we will see you in the next video. Bye guys.